Greetings to you and welcome to this episode of Grace Podcast. I'm Timothy Muse. I'll be your host as we spend this time together today. It's a joy to be with you. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for making this podcast a part of your journey. And I want to thank you, obviously, for being on this journey. As always, I'm so pleased and so honored to be part of your process. And I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're willing to invest, willing to grow, willing to find the places in your life that need energy and then give it. It's such a powerful thing. And I'm so happy and pleased that you're here to do this. I'm so happy and pleased that you allow me to come alongside you. If this podcast is helpful, please share it out there. Put it out there on your social media feeds. I post on LinkedIn, X, Instagram, and Facebook. If you follow me or the podcast on any one of those feeds or the life coaching on any one of those feeds, you're going to see these episodes pop up. Share them. Tag me in it. I'd love to see where you are. If you can follow us on any one of the listening platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music. Follow us, give us a rating and review. Every time you click on it, you get a new indication that an episode has come up, and it tells the platform people are listening. And if you want to reach out to me directly, GraceLifeCoaching.com is the website. That's where you can get a hold of me. Love to do some coaching with you. Love to come alongside you. However, I can help bring about some change and some growth, maybe some nuggets of wisdom, help you ask the right questions, go deeper. I'd love to do that. GraceLifeCoaching.com is the website. So we just wrapped up a long series on the power of friendships, and it was a really good series. And I want to jump into something else that I've talked about this before. I've talked about it many times, actually. It's been interspersed throughout many of the episodes. So I really want to do a deep dive here. I want to do a deep dig into discipline. I want to go a deep dive into discipline, the importance of discipline in our lives. Now, discipline builds the life you want. Okay? Let me be clear about that. Discipline builds the life you want. And I want to talk about that discipline. But let's be honest, when we think about discipline, discipline is one of those words, one of those ideas that most people don't love, that most people are not real big fans of. It sounds heavy. It sounds restrictive. It sounds like something we have to do, not something we want to do. And a lot of us may go down the road of discipline as the result of doing something wrong. I want to retract that out. I want to pull that idea out. We're not talking about discipline because you've done something wrong. This is not the adult version of timeout, okay? This is not, I'm wrong, so I need to discipline myself. No, that's not where we want to go. We want to take discipline in a whole different direction. We want to take away some of the misunderstanding that comes around discipline. Discipline isn't punishment, okay? Discipline isn't punishment. It is one of the greatest forms of self-respect. And I'm going to say this again. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is one of the greatest forms of self-respect. And today I want to redefine discipline, what it is, what it isn't, and how it shapes every part of your daily life. Every part of your daily life. Discipline builds the life that you want. So the life that you want, the life that you're looking out to, the life that you want to grow into is based in discipline. All right. So let's start with a little bit of what discipline is and the misunderstandings around it. Most people think discipline means forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. Waking up early when you're tired, or going to the gym when you'd rather stay on the couch, or saying no to things that feel good in the moment. And while that's part of it, that definition, that understanding of discipline is incomplete. Because discipline isn't only about force. Because if it was, it wouldn't last. Discipline that is created by force won't last. Discipline is not about punishment. Discipline is about alignment. It's about aligning your daily actions with the life you say you want. It's about aligning your daily actions with the life that you say you want. If you say you want to be healthy, but your daily actions don't reflect that, then you're not going to be healthy. If that's not a knowledge problem. That's a discipline gap. Okay. You want to be healthy. You know what it takes to be healthy, but your daily actions don't reflect that. It's not that you lack the knowledge. That's a discipline gap. If you say you want better relationships and you don't invest time, patience, and communication, again, that's not confusion. You're not confused about what a good relationship or a healthy relationship looks like. That's a discipline gap. That's a discipline issue. Discipline is the bridge between your intention and your reality. That's a really important concept. Discipline is the bridge between your intention and your reality. But here's the thing. Let's talk about what can trip a lot of people up. Discipline is not motivation. All right. We want to think that discipline is motivation. Discipline is not motivation. We love motivation. We wait for it. We depend on it. We think we need it to start. I need to feel motivated. But motivation is unreliable. I've said this before. Motivation is unreliable. Motivation is subjective. Motivation comes from our emotion. Some days we have it, and some days we don't. Some mornings we wake up ready to conquer the world, and then other mornings just getting out of the bed feels like a win. Okay? That's motivation. If you build a life on motivation, your results will be inconsistent. They will ebb and flow based on the energy and motivation that you present in that day or in that moment. But discipline is showing up whether you feel like it or not. That's the difference. Motivation is based on feelings. It's based on how we feel in the moment. Discipline is showing up whether you feel like it or not. Discipline says, I don't feel like doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't feel like eating this over that, but I'm going to eat this anyway. And that's where your life begins to change. Let me give you a simple truth. Motivation may get you started, but discipline keeps you going. Motivation may be the thing that gets you to the gym the first day, but discipline of keep going back is what keeps you moving forward. So if you're waiting to feel ready, stop waiting. If you're waiting for the motivation to come along, it probably won't. Stop waiting and start acting. That's discipline. Discipline is doing what we don't want to do because we know that it's best even when we don't want to do it. So here's where things shift. Most people treat discipline like something they have to do. Okay, I have to do this. I have to go to the gym. But real transformation happens when discipline becomes who you are. When discipline becomes part of your embedded being. Instead of saying I'm trying to be disciplined, begin to say I'm a disciplined person. I'm disciplined. That's an identity shift. That's not just I do disciplined things, but I am disciplined. Because when you believe something about yourself, your actions begin to flow out of that belief. So we want to shift our mindset, shift our identity from I'm trying to be disciplined to I'm a disciplined person. And that identity shift will drive our behavior. Because when you believe something about yourself, your actions begin to follow. A disciplined person doesn't negotiate with excuses the same way. They don't say, I'll do it tomorrow. They say, this is just what I do. This is just what I do. This is who I am. This is part of my discipline. Here's the important part that I want you to know, though. You don't build identity overnight. This doesn't happen overnight. You don't build discipline overnight. You build it through small, consistent actions. Intentional, small, consistent actions. Every time you follow through, every time you keep your word to yourself, every time you choose long-term goals over short-term satisfaction, you are beginning to create an identity of discipline. You're casting a vote for the person you are becoming. That's a powerful thing. Every action is a vote for your future self. James Clear says that in Atomic Habits. Every action is a vote for your future self. If your future self is dependent on your motivation, then your results will be inconsistent. But if you build a life of discipline, again, and you start small, little disciplined acts built over time will create actions that are vote for your future self, that will vote for who you want to begin. So how does this play out in real everyday life? Because discipline isn't just about the big goals. And, when we set big goals, we can't just achieve the big goals. We set a big goal, but we have to break it down into little sizable steps. I say to people all the time, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you build discipline? One small step at a time. So these are some small ways you can show up in daily decisions to build discipline. Do you hit the snooze button or do you get up? Well, if you hit the snooze button over and over again, maybe there's a place where you hit the snooze button less. You set your alarm, you know it's time to get up, the alarm goes off, you get up. You discipline yourself every day. The more you do that, the more your brain starts to say, the alarm clock is not something that I snooze, but the alarm clock is an indication that my day begins. Do you scroll on your phone or do you start your day with intention? This is a big thing. Most people, the first thing they do when they wake up in the morning is they open up their phone and they start scrolling. I have a disciplined habit. My disciplined habit is that I don't go on my phone for the first hour of the day. The first hour of the day, I'm tech free. Well, I'm not necessarily tech free. I'm off my phone. Sometimes I'll put some music on YouTube, or sometimes I'll turn the news on to get the weather. But I don't put my phone on. I don't go to my phone for the first hour of the day. So what about you? When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you grab? What's the first thing you go to? See, here's the thing. Our brains are longing for connection. They're beginning to come into the conscious world. And when we go to our phone first thing, then we dysregulate because all we see are all these pains and these struggles. And our brain then gets in that reactive mode and we spend all day in it. So do you scroll your phone first thing in the morning? Or do you start your day with intention? Maybe that's a small discipline. You know what my discipline is? I don't pick up my phone and scroll for the first hour. I don't check my phone for the first hour of the day. Do you react emotionally or respond thoughtfully? We are very emotional people. We are very reactive people. Someone says something and we want to spit right back out. Well, a great discipline is to take back a step and breathe and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting. Do you follow through? Or do you push things off? Do you stay true to your word? That's a big discipline, and it's a small step. Following through, staying true to your word. These small moments, they don't feel like much in the moment, okay? They don't feel like much. They don't feel like, wow, my whole life is going to shift if I don't hit the snooze button. No, it's not going to shift if you don't hit the snooze button, but you're building discipline. Over time, that action will shape everything. Your health, your mindset, your being, your relationships, your success. Your life isn't built on big moments, my friends. It's built on the small daily choices you make over and over again. And here's the encouraging part. You don't need to change everything today. You don't need to change everything at once. You just start with one thing, one place where your discipline can be different, and start working on it. So here's your challenge. Choose one small act of discipline. Not 10 things, not a complete life overhaul, just one. And it could be not hitting the snooze button. It could be not scrolling first thing in the morning. It could be drinking more water. It could be stretching for 30 seconds. It could be finishing one task you've avoided. Here's the key. Do it even if you don't feel like it. That's where discipline comes in. Motivation is based on feelings. I don't feel like doing this right now, so I'm not going to do it. No, be disciplined. Do it. Get it off your list. You know you need to do it. Get it off your list. Discipline begins not in perfection, but in follow through. And that's the important part. Follow through. Be disciplined in what you want to do. So take a moment and ask yourself, where in my life am I waiting to feel ready? Where in my life am I waiting to make a change? And instead of choosing to wait for that moment, be disciplined. Be disciplined in that moment. Take that step, even if it's small, even if it's not sure. Take that step. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. This is about being intentional. Remember, discipline is not a punishment. Discipline is not, the personal timeout because I've lived a bad life. I don't want you to be going, oh, I'm such a terrible person because I hit the snooze button. No, let's not get any kind of critique or judgment in there. If you're on this path because you want to be better, then let's remove that emotional energy. Let's not look back and say, look how terrible I've been over the past 20 years. You can't go back and fix that. You can't go back and change that. You can change what happens next. So let's release that punishment, that guilt, that shame that may be coming up with this. That's not what discipline is about. Discipline is about saying, I see these places where I need a little bit more and I'm going to start investing. I'm going to start being intentional in being disciplined in my life. So powerful, getting away from that emotional baggage and seeing discipline as a gift of freedom, not a punishment. You're not doing anything wrong because of where you are. You just want to be better. And so letting go of that emotion and allowing yourself to build the discipline that you need. Start small. Start with that one little thing. Find that one little place. And it can be easy. It really can. It doesn't have to be huge. What you're doing is you're building patterns in your brain. You're learning to be disciplined, and it will grow exponentially. When you're disciplined in one small thing and you see the results of that one small thing, you say, wow, look at how disciplined I am in that and how good it is. Maybe I can become disciplined in this. And you go from smaller to bigger, to easy to harder, because that's how we grow. Our lives are built not on motivation, but on discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your intentions and your reality. So what are your intentions? What do you intend to be as you move forward and grow? Who are you intending to become? Who do you intentionally want to craft for yourself? And what disciplines do you need to introduce that into your life so that you can achieve it? This is about achievement, not punishment. You're doing this because you want to, not because you have to. When we move discipline away from something we have to do to something that we want to do, the freedom that we want to do, then it really helps out. It really helps us to grow. So we're going to keep going deeper into discipline, different areas of discipline, how we can be more disciplined, where the pitfalls are of discipline, and continue to create a life of freedom in our discipline. That's what I have for you today, my friends. I hope it's helpful. If it is, please share it out there. Put it out there for others to hear. Put it out there for others to receive. I've said this many times. This is not proprietary information. This is information I want everybody to have, because when we're better individually, community is better around us. When we grow individually, we grow together. So I want you to see that this is important. Put it out there. Give it to others. Email it, share it, messenger it. If you're on one of the listening platforms, then follow us. Recommend it to others. And if you want to reach out to me directly, always, I'd love to hear from you. GraceLifeCoaching.com is the website. That's where you can get a hold of me. I offer so many different things to try to help you grow into the best life that you can have. Because at Grace Life Coaching, we want you to be the best you. Thank you for tuning in today. I look forward to moving into this. Be well and have a great day.